We're working here with a 1995 SC300. This tutorial will show you how to remove the climate control unit. A common problem is that after a few years, the LCD display gets cloudy and dark and you can't read anything. And so you may want to remove the climate control unit to have it repaired. Now, the first step in doing this is removing this panel here that is attached to the shift boot. Now, this is a manual transmission. If you have an automatic transmission, I believe the shift lever unscrews or detaches, and you need to do that first. But with a manual transmission, all we basically do is we reach in and grab the panel and then just yank it upwards, carefully. There are clips both at the back of the plate and the front of the plate, so when I lifted it, it all came out, but you may need to lift the front separately from the back. Once you lift it out, you just kind of leave it there and just move it out of the way when you need to. Next, the cup holder at the back of the console needs to be removed. It's also held with clips, and it's held in there pretty snugly, and you just need to give it a good tug, but be careful not to break the lid. I did it with putting my hand inside and applying pressure against the side walls of the cup holder to kind of pull it up in one motion. The center console frame is held down by 6 screws. Now that we've removed the shift plate and the cup holder, we can access those screws. So it's just a matter of unscrewing the screws. Once the screws have been removed, we can pull out the frame. First, we need to open the armrest compartment to get it out of the way. The frame is attached with some clips at the front, at the top, and at the bottom corner. And so basically you're going to lift it and also pull it out towards yourself at the same time. Be careful because this is a brittle piece. You can start by trying to wedge your fingers in between the frame and the dash to try to start it, get it started and start pulling it out. It's in there pretty tightly, so you'll have to just kind of work your fingers in there and work it loose. Once you pull the frame free of the clips, be careful because you will not be able to pull it all the way out. It's attached to 3 electrical plugs. These plugs connect the emergency blinker, the volume and temperature knobs, and also the cigarette lighter. Now, these plugs are in there really snugly, and each of them has a release that is on the bottom side, and you basically need to depress the little release and then just pull back. Just keep at it and keep working them loose until they pull open, all the while pressing the release. Once the 3 plugs have been disconnected, you can simply lift the frame out and just get the shift plate out of the way to allow it to pass through. The climate control unit and the radio are held in a metal frame that's attached to the dash with 6 screws. There are a pair of screws at the top and a pair of screws at the bottom, all of which are easily accessible, but there's also a set of screws in the middle, and they're recessed deep into the console, and you'll need to get a socket wrench with an extension to reach them. As you're removing the 2 recessed screws, make sure you don't let them drop down into the console because it might be hard to get them back once they get lost down there. Once you've removed the screws, you can pull that whole metal frame forward. It's not going to come completely out because the climate control unit and the radio are attached with a series of plugs at the back. There's a cluster of 3 plugs connected to the climate control unit, which of course sits at the top there, and you just need to disconnect those 3 plugs. Each of the 3 plugs is a different size, so there's only one way they can reconnect back to the climate control unit, so you don't have to worry about remembering which plug goes where. Now, on each side of the metal assembly, there are 2 screws that hold in the climate control unit. So you're going to need to unscrew those screws. You'll also need to loosen the screws that are holding the radio in, just so there's a little bit more give in the frame. And once you've loosened them, you can just kind of pull the frame apart slightly and lift the climate control unit out. And that's it. Now you can go repair your climate control unit, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks.